commitment to Krishna. And you commit to Krishna through his authorized representatives. And as we become more engrossed, more involved, more desirous to become closer to the Lord and to be able to serve the Lord better, then it quite naturally follows that we want to be a part of a line of disciplic succession going back all the way to Krishna, which then of course went from Lord Krishna to Narad Muni, I should say Lord Brahma, and then from Lord Brahma to Narad Muni, and then from Narad Muni it went to Vyasadeva, and then it came down and came to Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya got a personal commentary on the Bhagavad Gita from Vyasadeva, very rare, and it has come to our line, and Srila Prabhupada has broadcast it to us, and we continue to broadcast it all over the world in a line of the and we try to give the same meaning. That's why this book is called not just Bhagavad Gita, with an interpretation from anyone and everyone, but it is given according to the understanding that Krishna meant. He had a specific understanding, and quite often that understanding is distorted. And unless you come in that line, which we continue to, it's like a succession. In a kingdom, the king has a son, and then the son who is oldest, he inherits the throne. And then his son inherits the throne. So in the same way, in likewise way, we are all sons and daughters, ultimately, of Krishna. Krishna is our divine father. But we get that knowledge that Krishna meant in the same way, the same manner, and the same idea, understanding that Krishna meant through someone who is representing that line. And the obligation that each person has who represents that line is to represent it faithfully. Faithfully means as it is. So the children have to be taken out. Can't speak this way. It is unsacred. It ruins the solemnity of the occasion. And I just don't speak when there's children making noise. You can't be benefited, nor can I give you what I came here to give you. I love the children. Please don't understand that. I love children. I hug children. I dance with children. But when it comes to giving the guidance for you to better care for your children with Krishna consciousness, then we have to lay down some rules. And that's basically all I'm trying to do. So please, nobody should think that I don't in any way have affection for your children. Actually, these are the Vaishnavas of the future. But they also have to know that this is not tolerable during the time of when the scripture is being read and spoken and understood. So, tonight's talk will be on the 10th chapter, and I will try my very best to relate it to your daily work, your daily life. How can you apply this verse to your daily activities? It is not something that is simply to be discussed in some ivory tower for a few favored people. It is for everybody. And that's why, that is what Srila Prabhupada came. He gave this to the lowest of the low and to the highest of the high. And that is because it is what we call Sanatan Dharma. Does everybody know what Sanatan Dharma is? Tell me what Sanatan Dharma is. One of you, please. No?
It's eternal. Right, it's eternal. It's eternal religion.
Yes, thank you.
Eternal dharma.
Exactly. Thank you. Sanatan means eternal, and dharma is duty or religion. The eternal duty of the eternal religion of all of us is to serve Krishna. That is the real dharma. You may have dharma with your family. You may have dharma with your business. You may have dharma with your friends. You may have dharma with your temple. These are the dharmas which lead to the ultimate dharma. And the ultimate dharma is what? Sanatan Dharma. And Sanatan Dharma means eternal religion, and there's only one eternal religion. It's not like thousands of different religions, although religions come in different forms and different shapes and different sizes and in different names. But the ultimate goal of all religion is what? To love God. To always remember God, Krishna. You're Christian, you remember Jesus? Doesn't matter. Remember God. Never forget the Lord. All the scriptures are the servants of these two principles. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And if we can keep that on our mind and retrain our mind to, instead of just remembering the things we worry about, we can stop those worries by a conscious decision. We've gotten into the habit of worrying and worrying, but we have to learn how to place our worries at Krishna's feet and beg Him to guide us. And with that guidance, with that understanding, He will not fail you. Krishna says, those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and preserve what they have. And He will take care of all of your things. Those who always worship me with exclusive devotion. Exclusive means you give Him first priority. If you give Him first priority, as Krishna says in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the pure devotee is always within the core of my heart. I am always in the heart of the pure devotee. So he's there already, but he doesn't have, if you're not a devotee, and I think most of you are, but you can become better and better. I can become better and better. And as we become better and better, He expresses more and more to us. Instead of just watching us, being a witness, instead of that, He takes an active part in your life. He makes sure that you do what you should do, say what you should say, think what you should think, as long as you surrender. Surrender your body, your mind, your intelligence, and your soul itself. Here, Krishna, I am yours. Now you direct me, correct me, guide me, protect me. Do what you need to do to make me truly know that I am your own. I'm your child, I'm your son, I'm your daughter. Please help me to remember you, to depend upon you. If I do that, instead of thinking that I can do it all myself, I don't need God, I don't need demigods, I don't need anybody, I'm the master of my fate. Such egotism, such pride, such arrogance leads only to misery and difficulties, tribulations, and the like. Pride, as they say, pride goes before the fall. And what is that fall? Well, you think you're so great, and then suddenly comes along to show you that he's greater than you. And you've been taking so much pleasure in your greatness, and now your greatness is gone. You're living in his shadow. Oh, what a horrible, crushed feeling that is. But if you have no pride, what is the result? The reaction is completely different. He's overshadowing you. Great, wonderful. I give you my great good wishes. Please show me how you've done that to become so excellent in what you have done. Teach me. Instead of, oh, I don't want to look at this person anymore. He's terrible. Or you find some fault in him or her. Why fault? Because he's stolen your thunder, stolen your light. You're no longer in the limelight. So we have to have no pride. So let me get into the verse, because the verse goes into this quite nicely. And this is the 10th chapter, the 10th verse. I'll read through the Sanskrit verse. Some of you may, how many of you know some of the Sanskrit verses? Some of you know it? Yes, good. Okay.
This is one of the four.
Yeah.
One of the four.
Yeah, this is 10th. Yes, that's correct. Tesham satata yuktanam.
Tesham satata yuktanam.
Bhajatam vritti purvakam.
Bhajatam vritti purvakam.
Dadami buddhi yogam tam.
Dadami buddhi yogam tam.
Yena mam upayanti te.
Yena mam upayanti te.
Esham satata yuktanam.
Yesham satata yuktanam.
Bhajatam vritti purvakam.
Bhajatam vritti purvakam.
Dadami buddhi yogam tam.
Dadami buddhi yogam tam.
Yena mam upayanti te.
Yena mam upayanti te.
One more time. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Would any one of us devotees like to chant it for all of us? Anyone like to chant it? Do you know it? Huh? Anybody? Do you know it? Do you know? Go ahead, please.
Tesam satayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te.
Who will be next? Who will be the next victim?
Can you get the book, please?
Yeah. Now, did you know it by heart?
Yesham satatayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te.
Anyone else? Yeah, Mataji.
Tesham satayuktanam
bhajatam pritipurvakam
dadami buddhi yogam tam
yena mam upayanti te.
Before I go into the verse, I thank you all for coming, but I also want to especially thank my hosts, Mother Prima Dakri, and also Radha Madhava Prabhu. Thank you very much for you kindly inviting me. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for your grace. So, translation. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. Once more. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Is there a light that you might have, a flashlight or something, because the light is not as strong as that light? Oh, that's much better, thank you. In this verse, the word buddhi yogam is very significant. We may remember that in the 2nd chapter, the Lord, instructing Arjuna, said that he had spoken to him of many things and that he would instruct him in the way of buddhi yoga. Buddhi yoga. The yoga of intelligence, or actually of self-realization. Now, buddhi yoga is explained. Buddhi yoga itself is action in Krishna consciousness. That is the highest intelligence. Buddhi means intelligent. Yoga means to unite with God through the use of your intelligence. And when you perform loving devotional service, that is the highest use of your intelligence. Devotional service to Krishna, of course, not to Maya. Buddhi means intelligence, and yoga means mystic activities or mystic elevation. When one tries to go back home, back to Godhead, meaning to the eternal world, and takes fully to Krishna consciousness in devotional service, his action is called buddhi yoga. In other words, buddhi yoga is the process by which one gets out of the entanglement of this material world. The ultimate goal of progress is Krishna. People do not know this. Therefore, the association of devotees and a bona fide spiritual master are important. One should know that the goal is Krishna,
When the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly but progressively traversed. The ultimate goal is achieved. When a person knows the goal of life, but is addicted to the fruits of activities, material activities, he is acting in karma yoga. When he knows that the goal is Krishna, but he takes pleasure in mental speculations to understand Krishna, he is acting in Jnana yoga. He's using his mind primarily. His emotions are not very much involved. And when he knows the goal and seeks Krishna completely in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, he is acting in what? Bhakti yoga, yes. Or Buddha yoga, which is the complete yoga. This complete yoga is the highest perfectional stage of life. A person may have a bona fide spiritual master and may be attached to a spiritual organization, but still, if he is not intelligent enough to make progress, then Krishna from within gives him instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. So what is just said is very important. Every little effort that we make to go towards Krishna, you take one step, Krishna takes 50 towards you. You take another step, Krishna takes 50. If he sees that you're really serious and sincere, then when you take one step, he takes 100 towards you. And you feel his presence growing stronger and stronger and stronger in our lives. What is the result of that? I will get into that in a few moments. It's not merely that we're close to one another, fine. But when you come close to Krishna, it's completely different. And that is the real true goal of life. Not only to come close to Him as a result of our purity of heart, purity of body, purity of mind, purity of intelligence, but to reflect Krishna wherever we go, in whatever we do, in our business, our family life, our personal life, our social life. If we reflect Krishna wherever we go, then we are very much like the sunshine. The sunshine, it shines on the seeds, and gradually the seeds begin to sprout, and little by little fruits come or vegetables come, but things come out. And that's the whole idea, is to cause this, we call this the Bhakti Lata Bij. Bij means seed. So that seed needs to be brought out. It's lying there, dormant, like a sleeping snake. It's asleep. So by Bhakti Yoga, that snake becomes very tamed. And soon, it no longer hisses, but it sings, and begins to sing the holy name of Krishna and all of His great devotees. So we have this seed within us all. And as the seed is, as I said, the sunshine comes on it, is directed towards it, then that seed sprouts. And what happens is we begin to feel love for Krishna. So you might say, well, what about love for my husband? What about love for my wife? What about love for my children? If I love Krishna, will I forget them? Will I ignore them? Will I neglect them? Absolutely not. Somebody coming? Oh. Thank you. Oh. So, absolutely not. We will not neglect our families. We will not neglect our business. We will not neglect anything. In fact, what's going to happen, and I can give you a guarantee of this, because I practice Bhakti Yoga not only living in an ashram, but I also worked in the motion picture industry. And I practiced it there as well, but not as well. But I always wanted to just be in an association of only devotees, because that was my dharma. That's my focus. That's the way we're all constructed in different ways, how we can serve humanity. So all of the things that we do, when we look at our children, we look at our wives, we look at our relatives, we serve them in the interest of Krishna. We bring them, whatever we do, as Krishna says in another verse, whatever we do, whatever we eat, whatever we offer, whatever we give away, Krishna says, do it for me. In this way you'll be freed from the bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed upon me, in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and you will come to me. So Krishna is making a promise. He's saying if you have worries, if you have anxieties, you have uncertainties, you have doubts, you have confusions, you have arguments with your spouses or with your family, that all can be done away with if you become Krishna conscious. How? Well, Krishna consciousness is peace. One of the attributes of Krishna is that he is all peace. Satchit Ananda Vigraha. He is pure peace or eternality. He is pure bliss. Bliss he's ever joyful. Actually, Krishna doesn't have to go to a movie to become joyful. He doesn't have to go to a rock concert to become joyful. He doesn't have to watch the reality shows on TV to become joyful or to jump up and down and dance. He doesn't need any of that, because his nature is to be joyful. And Krishna was always joyful, and the way he manifests his joy is he was always friendly with everybody, and especially with the gopis. He would always tease them and joke with them and play with them in different ways, and he would make them laugh. And through that process they felt more and more love for him. And that is his only business, to enable us, to help us to love him more and more and more, so that we too will experience the bliss which is latent, dormant within our hearts. It's already there. You don't have to look for it. You don't have to take a course. You don't have to go to college for this. It's already there. It just has to be awakened. And when it's awakened, you feel different symptoms come. You feel jolly. You feel jovial. You feel pleasure. You feel like you want to serve everyone. This is your nature. And when somebody gives you a job, you don't feel, oh, not another job, oh, terrible. You don't have those feelings. As Krishna says, you do it for me. And when you do your jobs for me, he says, I will bless you. I will reciprocate with you. Just keep me in mind when you're doing it. You're cooking your food, think of me. Cook it for me, he says. You're doing your job on your computer, think of me. All right, you have to keep your mind on the keys, or you have to keep your mind on the abstractions, on the